This is a sample of the information provided as part of the flexible training resources available through hassup.com. Our training courses are designed to provide training participants with an understanding of food safety and quality system elements and also offer user-friendly assessment activities and competency checklists to complete the training cycle. Premises design and construction standards. Key definitions for premises design and construction standards. Positive pressure air system. Positive pressure is a pressure within a system that is greater than the environment that surrounds that system. Consequently, if there is any leak from the positively pressured system, it will ingress into the surrounding environment. Premises. Premises are land and buildings together considered as a property. Vermin. Objectionable pests, including small animals regarded as unwanted because they are destructive and can be disease-carrying. Premises design and construction standards development. When considering the development, documentation and implementation of premises design and construction standards within food safety and quality management systems, the following information should be considered to ensure effective outcomes. About premises design and construction standards. Specification, commissioning and validation of premises. General premises construction standards for operational areas. Where premises meets equipment. About premises design and construction standards. The physical facilities and structure of a food establishment must be properly designed, constructed, installed, operated and maintained to allow the receival, storage, production and dispatch of safe food. The design and construction of the premises and the items within it have a direct link to the control of entry of pests and potentially their harborage and ability to cause contamination of process or products. The design and construction of the premises is also directly related to the control of cross-contamination by staff and visitor traffic flows, process flows and waste flows. Many factors are important to premises and equipment design being supportive of food safety, including water supply, sewage and water waste disposal, garbage and recyclable matter storage, ventilation, lighting, construction of floors, walls and ceilings in an appropriate manner, and of correct materials. Correct installation and allowance for cleaning of fittings and equipment. Availability of designated hand washing facilities. Storage areas that are appropriate for the items being stored within them, and in the correct vicinity related to food areas. For example, chemicals are stored away from food ingredients and food packaging. Food transport vehicles are constructed and maintained to reduce food contamination risk. Provision of designated eating, drinking and smoking areas. The internal and external design and layout of food establishments should permit good food hygiene practices, including protection against cross-contamination during and between food production operations. This may include a defined one-way product flow, the segregation between high and low-risk areas, and entry to high-risk areas via specially designated and managed changing facilities. Sanitary facilities such as toilets should not be adjoined to operational areas within any food business. As a minimum, a double door and airlock between the sanitary facilities and production area would be acceptable. Adequate suitably designed and constructed facilities should be provided for cleaning food, utensils and equipment. Such facilities should have an adequate supply of hot and cold potable water where required. Specification, commissioning and validation of premises. The following specification, commissioning and validation elements should be considered as part of ensuring premises layout, structures and materials adhere to regulatory, industry and customer standards. The specification, commissioning and validation of food sector premises should be conducted and recorded to cover legal compliance, industry compliance, food safety and quality standard compliance. Requires alterations or tailored commissioning. Construction of suitable materials. Verified composition of materials such as stainless steel, by grade. Suitability and risk assessment of associated chemicals, including cleaning and sanitation chemicals. Requirements for cleaning and sanitation, including prescribed cleaning methods or chemicals for use. Suitability for use within specific environments, such as within wet or humid environments. Workplace health and safety compliance. Operational capability for food safety. Operational capability for food quality. Operational capability against capacity. Anticipated life cycle and longevity. The specification, commissioning and validation of premises layout, structures and materials should be conducted by a multidisciplinary team to ensure the highest level of outcomes. Reducing risk by engineering it out. In many cases, new, existing or refurbished food premises may require the adoption of risk reduction strategies to reduce the risk of such equipment contributing to the production of unsafe foods. For example, it is common to find damaged protruding light fittings on ceilings above areas in which forklifts are used to move and handle food products, raw materials and ingredients due to contact from the forklifts. If recessed light fittings were installed, then the risk of breakage could be significantly decreased. Similarly, if the site design didn't facilitate the fitting of recessed lighting, then the forklifts could be fitted with height limiters or sensors to reduce the risk of contact with light fittings. Food business location. Potential sources of contamination need to be considered when deciding where to locate food businesses. Food businesses should not be located anywhere where, after considering appropriate protective measures, it is clear that threats to food safety are present. In particular, food businesses should be located away from environmentally polluted areas and industrial activities that pose a serious threat of contaminating food. Areas subject to flooding unless effective safeguards are provided. Areas prone to infestations of pests. Areas where waste, either solid or liquid, cannot be removed effectively. The premises exterior. The area that surrounds the food premises has a large impact upon issues important to food safety within the premises itself. The external environment of the premises should be well maintained and monitored to prevent pests and vermin, dirt, and other undesirables from entering the food premises and causing contamination. An external security system should be in place where there is any possibility that contamination or damage to products may occur through intentional malicious activities. Animal manure or related byproducts should not be used within close vicinity of the premises, as these have the ability to impact upon the safety of foods produced. The premises exterior of food businesses should be free from inappropriately stored or dumped equipment, uncontrolled litter, refuse, waste, recyclable items. Structures that are potentially a breeding ground for insects, vermin, feral and native animals. Non-maintained gardens, grass and weed areas in close vicinity of the premises structure. Excessively dusty areas, including unsealed car parking lots. Areas of poor drainage, or inappropriate water holding areas. Premises and procedure traffic patterns. Traffic between raw food preparation and cooked food areas should be avoided where possible. Where it is not practical to curb traffic between cooked and raw areas, it can be advantageous to introduce time management through which cooked or raw foods are processed and handled after dedicated and verified cleaning and sanitizing applications in between. The use is a common application where the process flow or movements between areas may potentially introduce pathogen contamination risks. Similar applications also include access door sanitation unit that sprays a chemical sanitizer solution onto the doorway floor at timed intervals to reduce the risk of cross-contamination by foot traffic, pallet jacks and trolleys passing through the doorway. General premises construction standards for operational areas. Standards for the general layout and construction for operational food areas are many and varied as based upon the regulatory standards of each geographical location. The scope and intensity of layout and construction for operational food areas is often dependent on the risk status of the products and processes involved. Internal structures and fittings within food businesses should be constructed of suitable materials and must be easy to maintain, clean and sanitize. Based on the risk level of the foods and processes involved, in particular the following requirements should be facilitated to protect the safety and suitability of food. Segregation should be facilitated, ensuring physical separation of lower risk and higher risk areas. Construction and design of areas should not allow the use of scenarios which may encourage the harborage, growth or spread of microbiological concerns. Food areas should generally be designed and constructed to allow a genuine one-way process flow where possible. Drainage systems in higher risk areas should be independent of drainage systems within or linked to lower risk areas. Where drainage segregation is not available, Drains should run from the higher risk areas towards the lower risk areas. Anti-backflow devices should be fitted within drainage systems where possible. Drainage channels should be smoothly constructed from non-corrodable materials to exclude any crevices, have recessed top grates and removable drainage filter baskets. Premises piping should be sealed, include applicable liquid and air anti-backflow devices and have an adequate fall away from the higher risk areas of the site. Flooring should be smooth and impervious and fitted to allow effective drainage without any pooling. Flooring on the lower risk side of higher risk partitions, walls or barriers should drain away from the higher risk area. Doors, panels and hatches should be of solid construction, must include effectively seals and must be able to be effectively cleaned and sanitized on an ongoing basis. Openings into higher risk areas should be no larger than what is required to facilitate the required task. Interlock or airlock doors may be fitted where possible to control the ingress of unfiltered air into the higher risk area. Where equipment or other items are not captive to the higher risk area, are these items subjected to a validated cleaning and sanitation decontamination step prior to reintroduction to the higher risk area. Air introduction and reticulation systems within the higher risk area should be filtered to an appropriate standard based on risk assessment outcomes. Positive pressure air systems for higher risk areas should be implemented and verified on an ongoing basis to ensure the ingress of unfiltered air into the higher risk area is minimized. Equipment sited and maintained within higher risk areas should ideally be captive to that area and identified as such. Equipment sited and maintained within higher risk areas should be constructed to avoid potential microbiological growth and harborage. Where possible, equipment such as metal detectors and check weighers should be located outside of higher risk areas. Where laboratories are located within the vicinity of higher risk areas, these laboratories should have full segregation and designated drainage and waste handling services. Did you know that HACCP.com includes resources that allow you to create, manage and implement GFSI and HACCP-based food safety and quality programs? Improve your food safety and quality skills and knowledge? Train and develop your team to create better food safety and quality outcomes? Find suppliers and service providers to partner with your business? The information and training resources available through HACCP.com included a variety of formats, such as website content, MP4, MP4 and text, MP3, PDF and slideshow. Are you ready to take the next step in your food compliance journey? Visit HACCP.com today to create your profile and access the full versions of our food safety and quality information packages and much more.